Hi, we weren't even Jewish, and then they yelled.
Hi, everybody. Okay, are you cold? Oh, okay. How are you? Oh, cold. Okay. All right, well, let's start. Let's begin right away. We are up to chapter 3 in Tomer Devorah, but being that there was a long break and, war and stuff in the middle, so we're going to just recap for a minute, okay? Okay, why is the window, is the window open?
I don't know, but it's really cold.
What's with the cold here?
Because I don't know how to put on the heat here.
I can't teach with a coat on.
I barely feel my fingers.
Should I off?
I don't know how to
Can I go off?
Go ask. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if the heat works in here. Never really worked in here.
Figure it out.
Oh, why don't you put it on then?
But I don't know how
I know we tried. I don't think
So we're up to Mida Gimel.
We're up to Mida Gimel. Okay, but before we start Mida Gimel, we want to go through the first 2 Midos again to recap. Are you okay? Do you want to drink water? Okay, good. Tov is good. Tov is good. Okay, so we have like this. We have God, right? The creator of the world, the source of everything. Remember him?
Yeah.
So we have him. And the way it works Kabbalistically, and let's just do this Kabbalah for dummies, okay? Not that you're a dummy. We're all dummies when it comes to Kabbalah, okay? But basically, in short, is that the way this world works is the opposite of how we're wired. Okay? Us human beings are given a body. Our body is very, very base. Our body is very, very animalistic. And our body has cravings, and our body has its own language. How many times have you been in a situation when you were like, I know this is wrong for me. I know I'm going to regret it. I know I am going to regret eating this, going here, smoking that, being the... I know. And then you do it anyway. How many times does that happen?
Every day.
All the time.
Yeah.
I know I should daven now because I know I have so much on my heart. I know it would probably be good for me to open my heart and cry or let it out or whatever. But let me just sit here and scroll on Instagram and keep it all shoved into my heart and my guts and all that stuff, and let it just cook in there and not let it get it out. Not let it get out. So we're wired. Shh, girls, I need quiet. We're wired in this way where we want to do the opposite of what's really healthy for us, good for us. Okay, so that's where we are at all times. Now, in order to, you have 2 teams. Okay, you have 2 teams. Okay, one team is winning the other team. That means that one team is stronger than the other team. Now, you're on the weaker team. In order to win, being that you're the leader of this team, what do you think you need to do in order to have your team win?
Be stable.
Okay, what else?
Have more power.
Have more power, which means to strengthen your team. You realize that there's a few weak links in your team. You realize a few guys that are, whatever, I don't know, going out drinking the night before, and then the day after they're like half game. Okay? You realize all these things. So in order to win the game, you're going to have to strengthen your team. It's very, very much... Since we just said it, that it happens to us every single day. Every single day, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Every single day, I'm slowing my progress down. Every single day, I'm also doing things to fasten my progress. The fact that you're sitting here, the fact that you're up at this hour, the fact that you're learning Torah, you're already progressing. But at the same time, it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Like I know that right now at this point, to come out of my comfort zone and to do the thing that I know is hard for me to do, I know it's going to give me the push up the mountain. I know it's going to give me what I need. It's going to give me that, okay, I'm coming out of this stuckness. But I stay in the stuckness. Okay, so why? We are hardwired to be body. And at the same time, we have mind and soul and all of our faculties that know what's better, and know we shouldn't, and know we should, and know all these things that are constantly, there are 2 teams going on, and the weaker team needs to get strengthened. Now, that's why we're here. That's why we always learn Torah. That's why Jews are always doing this thing called Torah learning for the past 3,000 years. Because this is what strengthens us. This is what keeps our fire, a flame. Okay? En manaso. That's how it is. That's the formula for a Jew. A Jew will go around the world looking for a formula to light their spark up, to give them fire, to give them a flare, to give them that sense. They'll try anything and everything. They'll get small dosages of it, hits of dopamine, and then they're right back to square foot one, and they find themselves in some ashram in Thailand where then the Dalai Lama sends them back to Israel because they're Jewish. Why are you here? Go back to the original faith. Okay? Why? Because the Jew gets bottom line, we get our life force from learning, from these classes. And if we don't make it our business to get up in the morning and to whatever, get dressed and to come here and to sit our behinds down in this chair and learn Torah, we won't connect to it. If we don't plug it, it won't plug to us. But what happens when a person plugs in, when a Jewish person plugs into Torah, their life source begins to, things begin to move. All of a sudden you begin to think. All of a sudden you begin to want. All of a sudden you begin to desire. All of a sudden you're like, yeah, that makes sense. I talk to people in America, the people that I talk to, I'm not saying that everyone in America is like this, but the people I talk to, there's such thickness, there's such darkness, spiritual darkness there in comparison to here, that it's like such basic things that you have a Chiloni cab driver here that's 100% certain of it, that to him it's like you telling him the sky is green. I'm not, buddy, the sky is blue. I know the sky is blue. And I'm saying, like, to him, to this cab driver, this Israeli Chiloni cab driver that doesn't even keep Shabbos, it's Baruch to him, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. It's clear to him that Israel is the chosen people, the chosen land. And then you have, then I speak to religious people, in America and in places outside of Eretz Yisrael, because over here there's nothing we could do about it. Eretz Yisrael is the soul of our people. It's the soul, it's the land that is the soul of our people. Okay, that's why the first pasuk in the Torah says, Rashi says there, Eretz Yisrael, Am Yisrael. Okay, Eretz Yisrael, Am Yisrael, V'Torat Yisrael, the Jewish people, the land of Israel, the Torah of Israel, Chadhu, it's one. It's one unit. It's one unit. That's why they so badly are fighting us and don't want us to have it. That's why there's surges of anti-Semitism in the world that don't make sense and are not based on facts. And there's no point to even show them the videos that they're dying to see, and there's no point to do all of those things because their anti-Semitism is a fact. Halacha beyadua. A halacha is a fact. It's a reality in the world. You turn on electricity on Shabbos, the reality is that it will mess with your energy, period. Hashem cares, Hashem doesn't care, Hashem doesn't care. Hashem will love you. Hashem loves the biggest Rishayim. Murderers, He loves. It doesn't affect Him whether I pray or not pray or turn on the light or cut a tissue on Shabbos. Like this much, it doesn't move God. It doesn't move Him. Like He will always forever love you. Who does it affect? You. And since God is completely selfless, there's no you worship me, bow down to me. I am the ruler of the... He just puts the facts, the cards on the table, the facts on the table. The facts is that there is a source to this universe that has created the universe. There are rules that apply to this universe, just like you can't just like put a silver foil in a microwave and expect it not to blow up. It will blow up because the rules of the microwave said that if you put silver foil in the microwave, it's gonna malfunction. You can't just like, I want to do what I want, and if I want to put silver foil in the thing, I will, because I am a free person, and I decide, but your microwave's going to break. You could do it, go. No one's stopping you, friend. It's going to break. It says it in the manual. There's certain things that a human being, when they do it over and over again, or once, or twice, or whatever, it damages them. Just like there's certain things that you do that heal you. Period. We're beings. You tell a kid that he's nothing, that he's no good, you're damaging him. You lift up his spirit, you show him where he's amazing, you're building him. There are rules to us human beings, how we function, how we malfunction. So when I was saying before, I have friends that are telling me in America, and I hope they're not listening to this class, but whatever. From their whole life. Hashem really cares if I light this light on Shabbos. He cares if I if I don't go in an elevator on Shabbos. Come on. He cares if I wear jeans. He's like who made up these halachos? What about the rabbis? Are they legit? Maybe they were just making things up. How come if he says this and he says that, we go according to him and not to him if he's the lighter opinion? Shulchan Aruch wasn't written 3,000 years ago. It was written 800 years ago. So how do we know what... Whenever, for me, rule of thumb, I've learned the hard way. Rule of thumb, whenever anyone talks that way, it comes from a lot of negative emotion, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and it's not coming from a place of... It's almost like when you ask directions, you're not going to be like, can you tell me where Froyo is? Forget it. You know what? Everyone always says it's here, it's there. Who knows? That's not a person that wants direction. That's the person that has beef with Froyo. And getting lost on the way there. The person that wants direction is like, hi, can you explain to me how to get there? Thank you so much. They really want to know. When a person has a question about Torah, about Judaism, about God, about being legit, if they're coming like, yalla, yalla, it's all business, all the rabbis, they just want to make money from the restaurants, and they just want to make money on all the, the innocent Jews and whatever it is, if they're coming from that place, that means that they're hurt and they're injured. And they're not coming from a place of really, really wanting to understand.
we're surrounded with such people.
So that's what I was telling her last night. I was telling her, my friend, she's like, you don't have any answers for me? I was like, I have all the answers for you. Because your questions are not really difficult questions. They're very basic, simplistic questions. Very basic questions. Seriously, cab drivers in Israel are like, this is not even, you know what I'm saying? Like but what happens there is that there's such spiritual darkness that people slowly, unless you're keeping on your game, takes over you. No question. It says that Eretz Yisrael, bless you, Eretz Yisrael is a Eretz asher enei Hashem Elokecha ba. Every other nation in the world has a malach that guards it energetically and spiritually. Every other nation in the world, every other country, every other state, every other place in the world has a malach that's governed over this state, this country. Israel, Eretz Yisrael, is the only one. Eretz Asher, it's the land that has Asher Einei Hashem, the eyes of God, Elokecha ba. Me'achrit Hashana, Mireshit Hashana, ad Achrit Hashana.
What does that mean?
Which means from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, 365 days, God's eyes are on this land. That's why the whole world's eyes are on this land. And everything is made up. Everything is lies. They're saying that no babies were beheaded and no people were taken hostage, and their numbers are completely off. 340 people died on October 7th. Their numbers are completely off. They're playing with the numbers. There's such an agenda not to be in line with the truth. Why? Because it's all about the Jewish people. And when God makes all the nations of the world stand up, rise up, and say, Jew, 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 what are they in essence saying? What are they in essence saying? When someone calls your name, someone calls my name, Devorah, 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 Devorah. Thank you so much, sweetheart. What are they trying to get?
Your attention.
Thank you. Nothing. They are a stick. All these rallies with the pro-Palestinians, they are a stick. It's all a facade. It's all a facade. All it is Hashem saying, Devorah, wake up. It says in the Torah, when the non-Jew rises up against the Jew and he starts screaming, Žid! That's why you should go to Poland. Žid! When the non-Jew stands up and rises and he starts screaming, Jew! 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 What does the Jew start feeling? Uncomfortable. They start feeling uncomfortable. What happens to us in the world? We start uniting. We start singing God's praises. We start singing Israel's praises. We start singing the army's praises. We start loving the army. We start sending duffel bags and duffel bags and duffel bags and millions of dollars to this land, to the people of this land. Everyone opens their homes and their hearts and their wallets and everything possible. And I was in America for 5 weeks. I cannot even tell you. It was the beginning of the war. I went 2 weeks into the war. I can't tell you what happened there. I've never seen such a reaction by the Jewish community in my life, ever. In a matter of 2 weeks, they set up shop, crazy. The Jewish Federation, Yedidim, the biggest organizations, private people, the raising of money, the individuals that got together and that did things there that were insane. When I was there, just me, I landed there. I didn't tell anyone I was coming, just my family. I just needed to get away from the war. It was too intense for me here. And the amount of wanting to do something, to be a part of something, to help in some way. I cannot even tell you. People were coming on and people were just, what can we do? Every night I was like, okay, so maybe we'll have a talk tonight. And I put out like a stinky little flyer that I made for 5 seconds. I put it out, 30, 40, 50 people just coming. Every events. People just want to do something. Klal Yisrael is waking up. Why? Because the non-Jew is starting to scream Jew like a psychopath, and it makes no sense, and nothing adds up. And no matter how much we explain, no matter how much hasbara we do in the world does not want to hear and does not want to see the facts. Why? Because it's all godly. Because Hashem is bringing the Geula. Because Moshiach is coming. Because Klal Yisrael is awaking. Because the lion is waking up. The lion is waking up. And for us right now, anyone that's listening to this, anyone that's here, the most important thing to do is to know that you are a part of this live organism. And this live organism, the reason that God is waking us up in such a dramatic way is because once we are awake, once the Jewish people are awake, once the Jewish nation is awake, we are a light unto the nations. The nations want us to wake up. The Christians say it straight up. They say it straight up. We want the Jewish people to wake up. We want the Jewish people are going to bring the Messiah. It's the Jewish people that they're donating millions and millions to this land because that's what they believe. They believe that the Jewish people are in the driver's seat and the driver is sleeping. And we want to go. So the guys in the back seat at this point are screaming, Jew, 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 because they want us to wake up. And we are waking up. We are waking up. What?
That's what the Christians think. They think that we're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why are they anti-Semitic?
The Christians? Not all Christians are anti-Semitic.
The religious Christians aren't anti-Semitic.
Not all religious Christians are anti-Semitic. A lot of them are very tricky because their faith tells them that if the Jews will convert to Christianity, and that's the only way they're gonna. So they're trying to do all these kind things to the Jew. Hatzileni na miad achi miad Esav. Save me from him, from my brother. When he comes as my brother, I'm your brother. We're brothers. We're brothers. Save me from him when he comes at me like Esav. No, it's not. It's not. That's talking specifically about Christianity, about Edom. Esav is Edom, which is Christianity.
Don't they think that Jesus is the Messiah?
They do think that Jesus is the Messiah. They believe that he is, yes.
Yes, then what do you mean?
But they have a whole ideology, and their faith is based on this principle of once the Jews accept Jesus as Christ and as Savior and as all these things, then their Messiah is going to come. So they work on the Jews to missionize the Jews and to do all the things to convert the Jews in order to bring the Messiah. But that's their ideology, right? And then the Muslims have their ideology. That if you kill the Jews, and if you destroy the Jews, and if you rape the Jews, and if you do all those things to the Jews, then you'll get... Everyone's very busy with the Jews. I don't know if you noticed. Meanwhile, the Jews need to be busy with the Jews. Okay? And we're tired of being busy with each other. So we're just kind of like, let me become John and Stephanie and Jane and whatever, and let me assimilate and just be normal and live my life and, hang out with Kim Kardashian all day. And that's, and then they start screaming Jew from the backseat. And then we wake up. That's the thing. We do wake up in the end. We always wake up in the end. We wake up. We connect. That's exactly what happened now. The unity is crazy. Tzedakah is crazy. The inability to deal with conflict anymore amongst our brothers and sisters is crazy. Nobody in Israel can hear left, right. Everyone just doesn't want to hear about it. Doesn't want to hear about it. We just want connection. I just want to end specifically this part of our Eretz Yisrael Moshiach and this piece with this one last thing, that we know that everything that we see outside of ourselves is a manifestation of what's going on in our nation. Everything outside is the facade. It's just almost like a projection of what's going on. If you take a projector and you project it on the wall, all these people walking around on the screen are not on the wall, even though it's on the wall. I'm projecting it on the wall. There's no like characters walking and talking on the wall. It's just a projection of what's on the disc. It's a projection of what's being projected from the disc onto the wall. It's exactly what's going on. What we see around us in the world, girls, remember this, and remember this because it says that when Mashiach is going to come, it's going to be wild. It's going to be stormy, and the Jews there are going to hold on. And I hear a lot of people having a lot of sveikos and emuna. You're going to go back to America. You're going to see a lot of sveikos and emuna, and also a lot of strength and bitachon and emuna. People are falling away, people are coming. Hashem is doing a lot of sifting and sorting right now. Because it says, just like by Mitzrayim, just like 2/3 of the Jewish people, 2/3? 4/5. 4/5 of the Jewish people did not come out of Mitzrayim. It's going to be the same way by Achros, Kereishis. At the end, it's going to be like at the beginning, by Mashiach. 4/5 of the Jewish people are not going to want it, are not going to want to be part of Israel, not going to want to be part of this whole thing. They're going to be very assimilated. They're going to be 4/5 of the Jewish people are not going to be part of this. So that you're going to hear a lot of sveikos and emuna, but at the same time, a lot of people that are being very awakened and very connected. People are so far away. I saw videos of like Jewish people with that are like so far removed, like tattoos and piercings and everything. Like their whole life never had a Jewish friend. And all of a sudden, because of everything that's going on and the attack on their people, all of a sudden they're rising up and they're having Jewish pride and they're connecting to their people like they never did before. So there's a lot of sifting and sorting that's going on right now in the world. A lot. So what did I want to just tell you? So whatever we see on the projection is a manifestation. Whatever you see in the world around you, and you're going to see, it's going to get more turbulent. Then 777 is going to get more. Okay, the rallies are going to get more. It's going to get more turbulent because it says that right before Mashiach comes, it's like the baby being born. And before the baby born, Be'ezrat Hashem, you should all have healthy and happy babies and healthy and happy pregnancies. But you're going to learn in your pregnancies when you're going to go to those classes that you can be excited about in the beginning, and then you're going to be like, this is what I was excited about, God help me. She's going to teach you about the ring of fire. Have you heard about the ring of fire? Yes?
No.
Oh, because, yeah.
It's not like Lord of the Rings.
No, it's like a big word.
The ring of fire is when the babies had crowns,
Oh.
and that's what it feels like for the mom. Because you expand very strongly, very much. That's what it says like Moshiach is going to feel like. When Moshiach is going to be born into the world, we're going to have contractions. And then we're going to feel the contractions getting tighter and smaller apart, like closer together, and then Moshiach is going to be born. Okay? But that means
What is
that
it going to feel like whenever Moshiach?
the contractions, we're going to feel like the Jewish people are going to have contractions. October 7th was a contraction, a big one. Okay? And it wasn't a Braxton Hicks. It was legit. Okay? It was a real thing. And ever since, all the soldiers that are dying, everything that's going on are contractions. Meanwhile, we are waking up because we're being contracted. Okay? And people are waking up. There's a lot of reality checking that's going on in the world. There's a lot of awakeness in the world for the Jewish people. Okay? And we have to be awakened because we are the light unto the nations. We're changing the world for the better. But the point is that whatever's inside is manifested on the outside. And I just want to say, all the pro-Palestinian rallies that we see, that is all the parts of us, okay, inside of the Jewish people that we allow in. The non-Jewish, the non-biblical, the non-Torah concepts, all those things, all the things that we give credit to, all the other gods in our life. Those are the pro-Palestinians. And then there's the Erev Rav. The Erev Rav are a group of people that stuck to the Jewish people when they came out of Mitzrayim. And they made our life a living hell ever since. They made our life a living hell. They're the ones that told us, why do you worship an idol? Look, Moshe died. He left you. He's not coming back. What are you waiting for? You're going to die here in the desert. He brought you out here to the desert from Mitzrayim, all this way, Yam Suf, all this stuff, a fight with Amalek, all these things, in order to kill you here. And you see, he's dead. Look at his body. There was an image. The Satan made an image of Moshe Rabbeinu dying and never coming back down from Har Sinai. The Erev Rav were the ones that always instigated, always said, you're going to let her talk to you that way? You know what I heard she said about you? That's the Erev Rav. The instigators. The ones that incite one onto the other. That make brothers fight. That make sisters fight. That's the Erev Rav. Those are the ones that are saying, those are the ones that are creating all the civil war that happened here last year. The Erev Rav. What is the Erev Rav on a real level? Because what we see outside is always a manifestation of what's going on inside. Erev Rav is a part of us. It's a part of us. It's part of the Jewish people, and it's a part of every single one of us that hates being Jewish deep down. Inside, when I say deep down inside, I mean the part of us that hates halacha, hates the Hasidim, hates the people that are more than us, that are not normal. Hates the parts of us, the parts of the Jewish people, are too fanatic, too extreme, not religious enough.
It's normal to think.
The ones with the tattoos and the ones with the piercings, calls themselves a Jew. Or the ones that are too religious and too makbid and too, not allowed to this, not allowed to that.
Well, what about those people that were born in the house and they think that way about like non-religious Jews? It's normal for them.
So we're changing norms. God wants the world to change norms. Don't you see what's going on right now? Don't you see the Hasidim are going up to Gaza and are dancing for the soldiers and then bringing them food? When did that ever happen? Hasidim going to the army to give them food and to serve them? There's a mishkababa going on right now in the Jewish people. People are starting to see clear.
People on their side.
What side?
On the Palestinian.
The Arab side. There's no such thing as Palestinians. Yeah. There are no such thing as Palestinians. It's a made-up term. Yeah, they made it up. Yeah.
On the Arab side. Like there's Hasidim and they're on their side.
Oh, those are Naturi Karta. That's a whole other level of, I don't know what that projection is. I'm not sure what the Naturi Karta projection is. But that's a sickness.
What should come?
Like I don't understand. They live in their bombs.
They're all of like 100 families. They're not really so. They make more noise, but they're all of like 100 families. That's it.
They're really sick. Because if they showed up like the Arab side, they would get killed in a second. So they don't know what they're fighting for.
There are a total of 10 members.
Yes.
Does it say anywhere in the Torah that we're supposed to be living here before Moshiach?
It says that if the majority of the Jewish people are going to be in the land of Israel before Mashiach, it will bring Mashiach come faster. Yes. It says that we're also going to be gathered from all corners of the world when Mashiach comes, but the ones that have come before to Eretz Yisrael, listen to this, the ones that have come to Eretz Yisrael before Mashiach comes, and it's a very big test in Emunah because it's much easier to be a human being in America and to have all your needs taken care of. It's much easier to live. Here you're living physically, physical aspect of life here is but the spirituality here is so high that you're paying a price with your physicality. Over there, the spirituality is so low in many ways, right? That you end up having a lot more gashmias because you just that's how it works. There's 100% room in the cup, whatever. So if I have this much water, then I'll have this much air, and if I have this much water, then I'll have this much air. Okay, that's how it works. It's just layered. It's more layered. Spirituality is much harder to get in, and a lot of times, dafka people leave from here, go there, and specifically there become closer to Torah. How does that work? Because over here, there's such a fire, spiritual fire that's burning constantly here in Eretz Yisrael that sometimes there are certain souls that need to move away from the fire, get cold, and then get warm. When they're here, they burn up from it. It's too much for them.
Aspect of like sometimes people need to like try things out and like have gone on the other side to be able to feel connected with Judaism.
Again?
Like people need to like fall down in Judaism in order to like have a stronger connection.
It's true, and that's why Hashem will always make sure that you fall in your life.
But like religious things.
Hashem will always make sure you have religious falls in your life. The thing is not to... The thing is not to... Second. The thing is that not for you not to choose to have a religious fall. But if you feel like, for example, one of my friends, she wore socks her entire life. She wore tights her whole life. We never got to Tomer Devorah today. She got it's a short class. She wore socks, tights her whole life, and she was like 29 already or whatever, and she was feeling very, very stifled. And she came to talk to me and asked me like what I think about the sock situation. She felt like she couldn't do it anymore. Felt like there's a noose around her neck, and she didn't know what to do. Was she allowed to not wear like tights anymore? Was she allowed to just not wear tights or socks? So it's not necessarily her choice. It's not necessarily her choice if she's been doing it her whole life. It's almost like you have to really know the halacha. And I told her, I said, you need to get a heter, or you need to go to ask a rav that's going to give you a heter. It's going to say it's okay. Why? One second. Why? 1 second. Follow the thought pattern for what you were saying, because when something is stifling you to the point where it's not halachic, it's minhag, then rather take a step back from it than become resistant towards it, or resentful towards it, or resentful towards God, or feeling like that. Hashem doesn't want you to kill yourself for these things. Hashem wants you to do from your heart.
I just think like a lot of people like fall back a lot religiously, and that's how they get their religious connection. Like I don't think a lot of people would have religious connection without like going off, for example. Like,
It's true, but sometimes, I know people that have stopped keeping
not
Shabbos.
but it happens.
I know friends that have stopped keeping Shabbos, and they told me, they said, like, to start keeping again, we really want to, like, really badly, and it's like we miss it so much, and we realize that it's not, like, nothing not to keep Shabbos, it's like, whatever, but it's so hard to start again. Meaning, it's almost like you get off your diet, it's so hard to go back on, because it's the first weeks that are so hard. It's almost like someone that stopped smoking, and they're stopped smoking for 5 years, and all of a sudden someone gives them a cigarette, they go back to smoking, it's really hard to, like, now not have that thing in your head. So God will test you, and you're going to go through things, but you have to know that when you step back from doing things that you're already doing, to get back to that, it's effort. It's not impossible, but it's effort. You have to really want it. Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
So you said how like each and like every one of us has like a feeling inside of us that like we don't want to be Jewish because of halacha and I know other reasons. How do you get rid of that feeling?
That doubt,
Yeah, because I feel like I have that feeling a lot.
it's a feeling of what? Can you pinpoint it?
Like how you said how we look at the greater, like the Hasidic people, I don't know, the higher people.
Like more like medactic, yeah.
I don't want to be like that, but like I also think that that's the right way. But like, I don't
Not necessarily. Listen to me. It says that there's a mountain, okay? And there are 70 ways to climb this mountain. Just because you decided to climb the mountain this way doesn't mean that if I'm climbing it this way, I'm wrong. Okay? Shivim panim la Torah. There are Jews that are not wearing kippah and that are not, keeping Shabbos, that are bringing the Geula right now.
They're so spiritual.
And there are Jews that are learning Torah from morning to night, waking up in the middle of the night. They're bringing the Geula. And there are Jews that don't daven at all, and all day they're busy with helping other people and serving other people and raising tzedakos and making simchas for people that can't afford it.
Okay.
You understand? There's not one way. It's not like the Hasidic way is the right way.
Right.
Every Jew is from his shevet. We're all from different shvatim. You have your job, I have my job. And that can look different. Ideally, is to keep halacha, which means Shabbos, kosher, tznius. And for men, tefillin.
Like,
Okay?
I
That's
know all
the
those things
ideal.
are right. I know those things are right, but I have this feeling that I just don't want any of it.
You don't want any of it.
Like the halacha part of it. Like I love the spiritual part, but
The reason that you don't want the halacha part of it and you like the spiritual part of it is because you don't realize that the feel-good spirituality that you're going to get from it, that you so like, and that's the part that's the good part, only comes from the halachic part of it. It only comes. A person can't sit here and teach me and tell me, preach to me, eat healthy, green juices, vegan, whole grains, while they're pounding a burger and French fries. Don't talk, don't pray, don't talk to me one way and live to me a different way. If you walk the walk, you got to talk the talk. If you talk the talk, walk the walk. Which means that you can't say spirituality, God, unity, all these things, and then be like destroying this machine instead of building it.
Like you said, there's some people who are bringing the rule out who are just like spiritual and they don't
What's just spiritual?
like I don't know, meditating.
That's not spiritual.
It's not.
Meditating is not spiritual.
It's just like having a relationship with Hashem.
Okay. Spirituality. When I say this guy's not wearing a kippah, but he's like bringing the geula, he is out there with the soldiers all day, collecting money, coming, buying the fruits, buying the vegetables, gave up his entire life, gave up his job, gave up everything to come there to make soup, to stand there to serve soup all day from morning to night, volunteer. Because his heart's bleeding for his brothers and sisters.
Wow.
That's a Yid. That's a Jew. Not, I'm sitting here meditating, and if anybody is toxic for me, I don't want them. And if she asks me for a favor, like, it's gonna, like, make me, like, sweat, and I don't think that's healthy for me. That's not spiritual. That's selfish. And that's what the world thinks is spiritual today, with all these gurus.
So why would
Like, I need my tea, and I need my rest, and I need my meditation, and I need I need my me time, and I need my nails done, and I need me. And then her neighbor, she's so spiritual, her neighbor asks her to move her car, and she's like ruining my zen. I'm like, how could she even ask me right now? That's not spiritual. That's like twisted spirituality. Because spiritual for real means you walk the walk and talk the talk. That in the moment, you really want to badmouth someone. That tells you, too bad, girlfriend, you want to gossip right now and destroy this girl's character. I don't care how nasty she is. Nope. Halakha said no. Deal with boundaries. You don't want to deal with boundaries. You don't want to deal with boundaries. You want to deal with the whipped cream. You don't want to deal with the stuff underneath that makes the whipped cream sit there. You understand? Yeah. It's the boundaries. This girl that I was talking to yesterday, she was also like to me, Hashem with the lights and the thing on Shabbos, does he really care? He doesn't really care. And like, why does it even say in Shema Yisrael? She says, it says in Shema Yisrael, this is how she was talking, that's why I'm talking like this. Why does it say in Shema Yisrael, like, if you don't keep my mitzvahs, I'm going to destroy you, I'm going to kick you out of the land, I'm going to yeah. If you don't keep my mitzvos, I'm gonna kick you out of the land. I'm gonna dry up your thing. You're not gonna have fruits and vegetables from this land. You're not gonna have anything. Why is Hashem like being so mean? And I was telling her, well, the first part of Shema Yisrael says, if you keep my mitzvos, which me keeping my mitzvos means that spiritually you don't get electrocuted and electrocute other people. Because on a physical level, you don't see it. Just like, literally, I'll tell you, last night, I was talking to my friend till really late at night, till 3 o'clock in the morning. And at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten since 6. And it was 2. I was so hungry. And I was like, I don't want to eat. So I had a wrap, and I put chocolate spread on it, and I put it in the toaster. And it was like a little cute wrap. It was like that big with chocolate spread. And I was eating, she was like, wow, are you okay? I was like, so good. It's hot, chocolate. And then I never eat that late. I try not to eat so late. And I woke up this morning. I still feel it right now. I feel like the wrap is stuck right here. Literally, it has not gotten digested no matter how much water I drink. It's like, you know that feeling?
Yeah.
That. And then I was putting on my makeup this morning or whatever, and I was like, from the outside, from my skin, nobody could tell what it feels like here. It feels like, just go down, digest already, just like that, okay? From the outside, it looks like it's all good. And sometimes I used to volunteer in the hospital, and you see some people are so sick, and on the outside, they look so healthy. Like they look well, they look like healthy, normal skin, normal eyes, and they're very sick, right? It's like, that's exactly what it feels like, physical and spiritual. When the spiritual is messed up, which means when a person is like eating pig, a person is, being Machal Shabbos, having relations with a non-Jewish woman, or a non-Jewish man, doing these things spiritually, it's like electrocuting yourself. On the outside, you don't see anything. On the inside, the person's getting very, very sick. The neshama is getting very, 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 very sick, very detached, very disconnected, very sad, very anxious, very depressed. All these emotional sicknesses come from the nefesh. You'll go to Poland. You'll see people in the ghettos, in the concentration camps, in the ovens. The ones that were connected and they had a healthy neshama, they had a healthy nefesh because of the things that they did their whole life. They're singing Ani Mamin. They're taking potato peels and lighting Hanukkah candles from them instead of eating them. They're starving. They don't have anything to eat, and sacrificing their food to light Hanukkah menorah. You see the neshama there. You see the nefesh. You see the person. You see the character. You see their aliveness. And then you had other people that were not connected. They didn't have any spiritual food. They didn't have any Torah. They didn't have anything to hold on to. They didn't have any halacha to keep them in line. They threw themselves on the barbed wire. They committed suicide. Many. You couldn't take it anymore. My sister was telling me, my sister's in Florida right now, she was telling me, she was sitting with a few friends, she was saying how they have everything, gorgeous homes, gorgeous cars, gorgeous bodies, gorgeous everything, Botox, fillers, everything. And she said, and they're just dealing constantly with anxiety, depression, fear, worry, they can't sleep at night, they're constantly being they're conflicted, they're as if they're the biggest blessing a person can have in their life is inner peace, inner calm, and an inner connection. And that comes from keeping halacha.
It's so true.
Comes from keeping halacha. And halacha are boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, you can't enjoy it. If I don't say enough cheesecake, and I'm going to sit here and down this whole thing of cheesecake, I'm going to get so sick and so nauseous and so disgusted.
What's the first step?
What? What step of what?
To keeping this kind of stuff.
Halacha?
Just keep.
Shabbos, kosher, tznius. Start there.
Okay.
You asked. You're keeping Shabbat? Baruch Hashem.
They say a religious person is someone that just keeps Shabbat and kosher. So what does the tzniut have to do with it?
Much. Especially since it's so hard for you. A friend of mine was telling me, she was saying how she doesn't, there's certain teachers, not here. She takes courses, she's always taking courses and whatever for her job, and there are certain lectures that she cannot sit through because they're so boring and they're just they get on her nerves or their voice or something. She said specifically those teachers, she goes to their classes and she sits in those classes. Because if there's something about this professor that's that's triggering her so much, when you're triggered, it's an indication, hey, something's here. It's an amazing way to know where you have beef, where you were hurt, where you have to heal. So if there's somebody that's talking a certain way and it gets you, sit there. What's being triggered? It's an amazing map to know yourself.
So
I don't understand what you said before that. When you said that God doesn't care if you rip a piece of toilet paper, it's for yourself. How's it? If God doesn't care, like, how's it affecting?
It's electrifying your neshama.
By like ripping a piece of toilet paper?
Yeah. Ripping a piece of toilet paper. Why? Because there are lamites malachos. There are 39 malachos of the Mishkan, of Shabbos. And those 39 malachos are the things that we are not allowed to do, those 39, on Shabbos. The only day of the week we're not allowed to do what they did in the Mishkan, we're not allowed to do on Shabbos. So anything that they did in the Mishkan, we're not allowed to do on Shabbos. They used to cut thread, make curtains. We're not allowed to cut thread. We're not allowed to cut anything that is thread-like, or we're not allowed to cut on Shabbos. Unless it's letzorich nefesh, which means for food. So if you have to cut a wrapper, you're allowed to if you need the food.
Yeah, for Sfardim.
I just don't understand how they do that.
You're allowed to cut writing, but you're allowed to cut the wrapper. What's that?
I just don't understand how they can have toilet paper affects on the neshama.
Because Hashem says in the Torah that there are these lamed tes malachos, that these actions, when you you could do them all week long. They have no impact on your soul. But something about the seventh day of the week being Sabbath, Shabbos, that is the highest day of the entire year. It's higher than any holiday. It's the highest Shabbos. Okay, when you get your hands involved in these things on Shabbos, something with your neshama, when you do them with your body, the neshama, it almost gets electrocuted. That's what it feels like. Why? Because there's voltage. It's different voltage.
I don't feel like that.
You don't feel it. You don't feel it. But what happens is that if you kept Shabbos, how long have you been keeping Shabbos?
I came to seminary. I'm still in seminary.
So you only started keeping Shabbos at the beginning of seminary.
Whatever, like
In seminary, at some points in seminary, you're keeping Shabbos.
It's like recently, yeah.
That's why you're where you're at. You have to.
But me not going on my phone is enough for me to feel like I'm already keeping Shabbos.
You are, girlfriend. It says lefum tzara agra. The heart for you keeping Shabbos is so much harder than for me keeping Shabbos, because when I was 12, keeping Shabbos for me felt like this for 25 hours. I literally felt like this. Don't move. Don't blink. Don't touch. Don't turn. Don't. Oh my God. Don't sit. Don't stand. Am I allowed to open the refrigerator? I don't know. Am I allowed to eat an apple? I don't know. I don't know what. You at least doing this with religious people around you that can help you. I was doing it privately. I didn't want anyone to know. It was secret. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I found a journal of mine when I was 12 years old. And I really want to keep Shabbos. I broke it. I really want to keep Shabbos. It's 12 o'clock. I broke it. I really want to keep Shabbos. 1 o'clock. I broke it. I'm so sad. And then one of the final journal entries there, it said, I was in 7th grade. It said, yeah, I kept the whole Shabbos. And balloons and streamers and things and colors. And I kept the whole Shabbos. It took time. These things take time. Not being on your phone when you're used to for 18 years doing certain things. These things are breaking habits. You know what you're doing? You're lifting mountains. You know what you're doing spiritually? You know what you're doing for the Jewish people right now? For Geula, for Moshiach? It's crazy what you're doing. You have to know that Hashem doesn't measure. It's not all or nothing. Hashem is opposite human beings. A human being would be like, build me a table. You give it back to him with 3 legs, he doesn't pay you. A table has 4 legs, my friend. I don't care how long you worked on this. Hashem is the other way around. I don't need the 4-legged table. I don't need a perfect picture. I don't need you to be Miss Rebbitzin 2024. What I need from you is to try. That's it.
So what you're saying, until it feels like just not going on my phone is not enough, then I have to, like, you're saying what I'm doing for right now, like, is enough? Like, because I feel like I'm keeping Shabbat.
You do feel.
That's what I feel like, but...
Do you feel that way because you're keeping Shabbat or because the people around you are keeping Shabbat?
You can brush your teeth.
Okay, well...
Some people say no.
Yes,
Unless you're gum
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Just wanting to grow.
Other people around me, like, people around me don't really affect me much.
Oh, okay.
Like, so when, like, my roommates tell me, like, you can't, like, wash your face, like, I still wash my face, but I still feel like I'm keeping Shabbos. Like,
Okay. Good. Exactly.
Little steps.
Exactly. The idea is not to get resentful, not to get overwhelmed, not to get angry at Shabbos, not to feel like you're stifled. The idea is to be motivated, excited, wanting. And if you feel like not being on your phone is something that is meaningful to you, is it? It's meaningful to you that you're not on your phone on Shabbos? Does it add to your experience? Do you feel like good when you get on your phone after Shabbos, like you did it? You feel that feeling like I did it? I wasn't on my phone the whole Shabbos? You're in the right place. That's where you're up to. That's your step. And then once that's going to become once that's going to become a given, of course I don't go on my phone on Shabbos, like, you know? It's time to then, but it definitely does, it's good that you're in this environment. Because once you're not going to be in this environment, it's going to be even the phone is going to be hard unless you really lock it in right now. I would recommend for you to keep, let's say, 2 Shabbos out of 4, but like real deal. Keep Shabbos.
Like
all in. 1 Shabbos out of a month. So you know what Shabbos is supposed to really feel like, and then later when you go back home, you'll have that template, and you'll be like, I know this isn't. Because if everyone around you is like keeping Shabbos, then it's a really good way for you to like go with it. Because to do it on your own is so hard. So much harder. So like be like the only one or whatever, it's so much harder. Here everyone's like doing it together. You have Shabbaton, you go to Tzfah, you do Shabbos, you have inspirational speeches, meals, things. It's much easier. People to talk to. Yeah.
What if like I started keeping Shabbat like a year ago, and I took my little sister, she's 8, and I'm like, keep it with me, Shauna, we'll do it together. So she started like about like 5-6 months already, and like I was on FaceTime with her, and I'm like, oh, did you keep Shabbat? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, and I started asking questions. I'm like, so can you tell me why you love Shabbat? No answer.
She can't love Shabbat yet. She doesn't have a positive experience with it. You love Shabbat.
I love Shabbat.
Because you have Shabbatons, you had things, you had inspirational moments, you have good associations with it.
But what about like a child? I'm also going to have children, B'ezrat Hashem, like...
You're going to create a good association.
association.
You're home, you don't have to say anything, you just be. You just keep Shabbos and your children will keep Shabbos.
I was explaining to like an 8-year-old, I'm like, like Shabbat is like we have a connection with her, and she's looking at me like, okay.
She has to feel, she doesn't have to hear. She has to feel.
So she's not going to feel it now, right?
Take her, have some, when you go back home, take her away for Shabbos with you once. Let her see like Shabbos table, let her see...
We have that, my parents just don't keep.
So let her have the whole experience. When I went away for my first Shabbos when I was in 7th grade, I had chills the entire Shabbos from the beginning to the end. Chills. All my hair standing, the whole Shabbos. And I was in 7th grade, and I never saw Shabbos like that. We had Shabbos meal, we had Kiddush at my house, but we never had Shabbos. There was TV, there was phones. Let people have, let a Jew taste their Judaism, they won't go back. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. Have a good day, guys. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.